Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prime FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegeman, that is in Nimba County, Quatika in Bon County, and of course, a Radio Wulugisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We are streaming live. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. That is the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. You want to watch on YouTube, just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you're going to watch the show. Also, we are streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. You just go to where they have the search, and then you tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do so, you're going to follow the show online. We want to not to only watch the show online, but kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on Nighttime Heat. Tonight promises to be very, very interesting. And of course, I know, just follow. You will enjoy the discussion tonight. Let me welcome one of my panelists, Josh Kennedy. Josh is already in studio. George, welcome to the program this morning, this evening.
Good evening to our listeners, and I'm so glad to be here. Though I'm still under the weather, but this assignment is a national duty. It's a national call, so we have to come. I want to thank our many listeners and our technicians for always being here to help us get on the air to speak to our people.
Yes, George. Let me thank you for the level of commitment and dedication you continue to demonstrate. I relish that very well, and of course, it shows how patriotic you are. I know Moses Sandy will not be able to come tonight. Moses is bereaved. He lost some relatives. So our hearts are out to you, Moses. Our condolences. I will continue to pray for you and the family. Please take solace in the Lord. I know it doesn't give one a burden that such person cannot bear. Sure. So Moses, our hearts are with you. Well, tonight we'll be looking at some major discussions. We want to ask tonight, and of course, we want to also do our analysis and also put it to you out there who are watching and also listening tonight. What has really changed under the leadership of President Joseph Yuma Boakai in the 2 years as compared to previous years? What has really changed? Can you help us to understand that? We'll be analyzing that tonight. What part of the basic social services are changed? Is it roads? Is it our international relation? Is it the economy? Is it electricity? What is it that has changed since President Boakai took office 2 years now? We want you to help us to understand it. And of course, tonight, when our colleagues join us, we'll be doing an analysis on that. Besides, the president has been, he and his delegation, they've been in Paris, France. The president has been holding a couple of bilateral discussions. But what do you know are the dividends that are coming out of Paris, France? What do you know? Have you heard about anything? Have you heard about any about the president, fixing his signature to any contractual agreement or to anything of that nature that will bring some dividends to our country? What do you know? We'll be talking about that as well. And also tonight, what is the real story? I'm sure you heard about the suspension of the LTA contract with the Telecom International Alliance. That contract has been in place for some time now, but the president just a few days ago put a halt. He extinguished that contract. So we'll be looking at the actual reasons, what behind the president's decision. Well, apart from that, on the sideline, I'm sure you heard about protests again. Protests staged by university students hailing from Grand Jida County, and they've been calling for the dismissal of the superintendent on grounds that he's been selling huge portion of lands in the county to Burkinabes. Well, we hope to get him on the line if it's possible. We spoke with him. We spoke with him earlier, and of course he consented. So we hope to, we have the video. We'll be playing the video, and of course we hope to speak with the superintendent tonight, and also Councillor Lafayette Gu. Gu is he's a Liberian lawyer and also an outspoken opposition supporter. But Gu just today had flipped. What's responsible for that? Why you laugh? Gu has somersaulted. Gu has changed.
Wise man changes.
We'll be speaking with Gu very soon. We'll be speaking with Gu. So that's the shape of the program tonight. We're hoping that you are there. And of course, we're going to have a jolly good time tonight. Let me ask you, what's been trending apart from what I've just spoke about? What have been trending, on your mind?
Well, what led to the bit of tension in the red light area was an eviction order from the court to I hate to say this, Muslim people fighting over property. And on that property, I'm told there was a mosque there. So one of them lost a case and they went to evict the other party. And apparently the mosque was in the right of way there to be broken down. So saw some stone throwing with very serious commotion in the red light area over the weekend. It was serious. Some people even took it like religious war, this and that. So that was worrisome. It was threatening. If you watch some of the videos from there where people calling Halakubalu, this and that, calling those jihadist languages and stuff. And I think Mike Jabate went on the radio, in fact, on his Facebook page, tried to speak to his people that it was a court order, people should respect the laws of the land. So that was a major striking issue that really caught my attention over the weekend. So,
yes, yeah. I think I heard that also. We're hoping that we can get the two parties, if it's possible, to hear from them. But I saw video footages, and I think that was totally scaring. Men holding machetes and cutlasses. I saw, huge fire, please being set ablaze.
Yeah,
I think that was totally scaring, and I'm hoping that the state security have it under control.
Seriously.
I don't know what arrests were made. We're hoping that we can hear from the parties, the disputing parties.
Yeah.
We're trying to make some contacts to see what we can speak with them possibly. But we're trying to establish contact with Lafayette Gu quickly.
Yeah.
So I can speak to Mr. Gu, Councillor Gu. Councillor Gu has been an opposition supporter. Gu, I understand today I just read up on social media, and immediately I read that. I placed a call to Gu, and Gu said, I asked what was on the social media, what it was something that's actually coming from him.
Okay.
And he admitted, he said, yes, I'm the one. So I'm trying to see what I can establish contact with Gu quickly. As soon as that happens, we speak with Councillor Lafayette Gu. I'm trying to establish contact with him as soon as it happens. We're going to establish contact with Lafayette Gu. Gu is not in country, it's out of country. We're trying to establish contact as soon as that happens. We're going to speak with Councillor Gu. But let me welcome Mr. Edwin Famule. Mr. Famule, welcome to the program, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. George, and good evening to you guys and to our listening public, and also to my big brother here. Good evening. I'm glad to be here once again.
Okay,
Thank you.
We want to thank you for coming. One person who also decided to show some commitment and dedication to this process. and that's good of you. It shows how patriotic you are. From work immediately, you come and provide your own analysis to issues. I will try to establish contact with Gu, but we are not getting Gu yet. I'm sure Gu will speak of us where he is currently. I understand it's about 10 o'clock or some minutes after 10 o'clock now because he's not in country.
Okay.
So we're trying to establish contact with Gu as soon as we get Gu. But let's try to play that tape, the tape that has to do with the university student hailing from Grand Jita. Quickly, let's play the tape.
So we are here today as peaceful citizens to petition our president of the Republic of Liberia for the misbehavior, for the misappropriation, for the illegal activities that the grain is carrying on in our county. So we are here today with our petition that is read. We are going to deliver it and give it to the Minister of State and then this voice on here. So that's the reason we are here. It is very peaceful, as you can see.
Meet with someone, that's fine. It is as cooperating now, we can be able to speak to the authorities and see if we can get we cooperate, how comfortable. Secondly, have you passed through your lawmaker?
Yes. Yes,
have no business with the lawmaker?
we have
Under the president's office?
the lawmaker. If you want, the lawmaker. With the petition is purposely for the president. So what we did, we still copy our lawmaker.
This is what we're going to do, right?
We see them.
We'll contact the so talk to your people that are cooperating. Based on your attitude, if you are willing to cooperate, the men will do
I can assure you we're not crossing the line. I can assure you we're not going to cross the line. We're waiting patiently. Open press.
So you listened to one of the here on ground go in clear conversations with the protester, saying that if they want this to be peaceful or proper, they should consult lawmakers.
Okay. I think we all listen to the tape, and let me just read what I have here as well. A major corruption scandal has erupted in Grand Jita County after a diaspora organization publicly demanded the prosecution of two high-ranking officials for allegedly leasing vast tracts of communal land illegally. The Global Alliance of Grand Jitans is calling on the Ministries of Justice and Internal Affairs to take immediate legal action against the Grand Jita County Superintendent Alex Chasio Grant and County Anthony Winkins now. The demand stems from an alleged illegal lease of 500 acres of customary land to a Burkinabe national for an estimated 30-year, 600,000 deal intended for cocoa cultivation. The Liberia Land Authority has already ruled the agreement void, stating that both officials acted outside their legal authority by signing the lease without the required community approval. So, gentlemen, that is there. We tried connecting with the superintendent of Grand Jita County, Edis Grant, to inquire as to whether what the group was protesting about, what it was true. Well, he told us that he was in the meeting, but he promised to, in fact, take our call tonight, but we're still trying to place the call, and Alex Grant is not picking. But that's the story that has to do with the superintendent of Grand Jita County. Let me get your take.
So I've actually followed these issues for the past few days. I think, like you rightly said, the land authority have taken cognizance of the issues, and the superintendent, I don't know what he was thinking about, because, like you said, communal land belongs to the community. So you, an individual representing government as a superintendent, has no authority over that particular property. It is the people who would decide through their leadership in the community to say that, we want to lease our property, or we want to, do X, Y, Z with it. So because you think that you're superintendent, you can go there and, work along with other county official, that's completely wrong. And I think the president needs to take drastic action against this particular act, because today is in Grenjide. How sure are we that it's not happening in other counties? The people of Grenjide just decided to stand out to say, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. And again, they did not even lease the property to a group of Liberians. They gave it to some group of, foreigners that came across the border to come and make farm. How sure are we that they wouldn't be making farm there? Are they also digging other natural resources from the earth? So these things, has to stop. These are all room, for corruption and people trying to use their official capacity to think that they can reach out there and do whatever they want to do. So I think I want to commend the students for their actions. And I think this president that I know is listening, and he would definitely take actions over, those officials that are involved in this particular act.
Okay, we'll come back to you to determine what sort of action, because if the land authority has taken siege of the whole matter, it means that it's serious, and it means that apparently the superintendent and the county Anthony have actually, got involved with the sales of the people communal land. So we'll be looking at what sort of action you think that can be taken. Is it dismissal, or is it outright dismissal, or some suspension? But I'm coming back to you.
There's a criminal conveyance law also in this country. Yes, so definitely,
it's a criminal matter.
It's a criminal matter. Yes, because the land does not belong to you.
It warrants dismissal outright.
It warrant outright dismissal and possible prosecution for his actions.
Okay, well, let's see it from you.
Well, I won't be jumping the guns. I want investigation. The situation in Grenjide is one thing. It's been troubling over the years. We've been hearing news about Burkinabes encroaching on Liberia's property or Liberians' property in Grenjide County. And this report have been coming over the years. Even during Madam Salif time, we'll be hearing this story. Some people tell me as an invasion, and it's been worrisome. So if the superintendent is said to have done this, of course there should be action taken to serve as deterrent. I mean, the land authority, I want to appreciate them for being so fast in taking siege of the matter, because this alone shows that they have been proactive, and this thing is worrisome. It's worrisome. If Burkina Faso is so good as people are claiming now on Facebook that President Traore is failing the country, I don't know how Burkinabes will be coming so deep encroaching on Liberians. I don't hear about Liberians encroaching on other countries' properties in the sub-region. I don't hear. I don't know if it is happening or nobody talking about it. But to hear Liberians, they're leaving from Liberia to go to Guinea or Ivory Coast or go to Sierra Leone, just do what other nationals do in Liberia. That's such a story very rare. We don't even hear about it much. But this is something that we should take it seriously. In fact, some Grenjidans have alleged that those Burkinabes, some of them have arms in the past. Yeah, so I think as a country, not just dismissal, I think we should go deep into this thing to try to pour hot to what is going on, because it's a cash crop that have cocoa is a cash crop that have long years of life span. So if you plant cocoa, you're talking about more 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years. If someone goes, you allow them plant cocoa on your land, I expect that cocoa to be there for such a number of years. Okay. So you that means technically that property will be for them to allow them. And the 500 acres of land, that's too much. You can't just do that.
an estimated 600,000.
Yeah.
But the whole issue about Burkinabes, or connecting or linking the current superintendent to bringing in Burkinabes or having deal with them in the county, that it came up long since.
Long
in fact,
since, yeah.
The former senator of the county, Marshall Dennis, was always on the back of the current superintendent. In fact, we were always trading allegations, claims and counterclaims about this whole issue. So when I saw and I saw the protest today, when I saw the video that a group of individuals were protesting, I said, well, but this is not new. It's something that's been happening. But for the superintendent, I don't know how true is it, but for him to have he and the county Anthony to join and to put a seal on the land, the people communal land, I think that's totally not called for, and like our law student said, it's criminal in nature. So you think? Let me ask you. I know you are from inside, though. But what sort of punishment? What sort of punishment they need to levy against them? They said just outright dismissal or
prosecution should be added. You don't just dismiss let the person go. First of all, the Burkinabes will be the victim in this case. You illegally bought the land. I think Mr. Famler will speak. If you acquire a property, outside of its original owner, that is the state or the county in that place, in the sense that the land authority got to be involved. If you go, you acquire such property, I don't think, under the law, I don't think you can get it if all that matter is raised and going to court. So they are cash. If all they get are cash, definitely they stand to lose in this case. The Burkinabes, the superintendent, if all he did this, I think it would be right to take him to court, not just dismiss him to go to serve.
Who's supposed to take him to court?
The government. You are not the rightful person. If at all you are not a rightful person to serve this property.
But you see, the government is working the government.
Yes, the first thing the government can do is remove the president and take them to court.
You think is it the government or the community people?
Well, it's two ways. Because this property specifically belongs to the community.
Yes,
I think we have different, either 3 or 4 different kinds of land. You have private land, you have government land, you have communal land, and so forth. Now, that particular property belongs to the community. That's not a government land, because where the people, sit, it belongs to them. So they are the only one that have the authority to dispose of it. Now, what this guy did is definitely criminal conveyance, because the land is not owned by him. He has no authority. He took the land and gave it to a third party, without the acquiescence of those who actually own the land. So therefore it's criminal in nature. So the people can, but still, because it's a crime against
the state.
The state is a crime against a group of people within the state. So therefore the state is the one that's going to prosecute for that particular criminal act. And like you rightly said, what the land authority did, they took seize of this matter, they investigated, and those officials that work for the land authority assigned in grand jury, some of them were dismissed. Yes, and I think 1 or 2 persons got suspended.
It means that it is serious.
It is very serious.
If the land authority can dismiss individuals that were involved, it is totally serious. Now it's left to the president now to take action against the superintendent, and because the land authority doesn't have the power to punish him.
For those of us that have the opportunity to travel to the southeast, you see a lot of illegal activities going on in those places, including even illegal mining. So you're driving along the road, you see most of the rivers are polluted and so forth. And these minings are not being done specifically by Liberians. There are other foreigners that are in the forest there. That include Burkinabes, people from different kind, even Chinese are there. Yeah. But there is belief that Liberians are, lazy people. We don't like to work. So you see, there's an influx of Burkinabes coming into Liberia. In fact, even some of our officials are also involved into bringing these guys into the country to work for them, to make farm for them, cocoa farm, coffee farm, and so forth. And at the end of the day, when they come, they start getting adapted to the communities, knowing all of the forest and so they start doing their own activities. So I want to believe that this guy who they probably sold this 500-acre to, he's one of those guys who been here for years, working for them, and now has been able to raise his own money and say, but why then I can't make my own farm for myself? I'm just trying to deduce from it, because nobody's going to come from Burkina Faso yesterday and just walk into the place and say,
500
yeah,
acres.
I want to buy 500 acres. He's somebody who has been within there, know all of the various authorities and so, and try to see if he can actually make this deal. And it is not only cocoa that this guy is going to plant. Like Brother George said, cocoa takes time to grow. So there are other activities that will be taking place on that land.
It could be mining.
It could be mining.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they're going to plant the whole 500 acres of land where, cocoa right at that moment. They could use other places to start looking for our precious natural resources. It is proven that we have, natural resources in some part of those counties, including gold and other stuff. How sure are we that they will not be doing gold mining?
Okay, gentlemen, let's try to transition. We're hoping that the president can listen to the protesters because they held that major protest today. Let's see who's on this line.
I really like to appreciate the protesters.
Yeah,
I listened to them when the security was speaking to them. They say, don't cross the line. They say, yes, we won't cross the line. We'll do just as you said. This and that was very good. Protest is not violence.
Yeah,
protest is just a matter of expressing your views, your thoughts, your opinion, or whatever to the leaders, or your plight, whatever to the leaders. So I want to say kudos to the students from Grand Leader. They did well. They behaved themselves. And this is what we talk about. Yeah.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's try to transition now. We read in our headlines that Councillor Raphael Gould used to be an opposition, a very outspoken opposition supporter. In fact, he's a Liberian lawyer. We want to send today. He declared his support for the ruling establishment, the Bokakun administration. So, Councillor Gould is now on the line. Let's try to speak with Councillor Gould quickly. Councillor Gould, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's been a while.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while. How you doing?
I'm okay. Let's go for His grace, His mercy. All is well.
Okay. So in studio we have apart from me we have other two panelists, Josh Kennedy and Mr. Edwin Fambule. He's a law student. I'm sure they will have one or two questions to also ask you. But let me begin this way, Councillor Gould, with you. Just today I read on social media some read up from online news organs publicizing that you have declared your support. So immediately I tried contacting you privately. Now I'm on air and I'm sure dozens of people are listening to us. What was in the social media today, Councillor Gould? Is it something coming from you?
But so, it's just the way people can understand or follow people. Sometimes it gets so confusing. When people try to label you in ways that you are just not. But it's not a strange thing. So I always support government. From 1998. I joined public service. I've always supported government. The only thing that I've stood for is that when people in government misbehave and try to wrong, I'll speak about it, especially when I start to grow becoming more matured, and then I became a lawyer, and I became more abreast with issues. So I could understand. I can understand what is right, what is wrong. I can understand governance and what it requires when you take an oath of office, how you should serve, the people. So all along, I've been supportive of government. I've never fought government. I've fought bad elements in government. So the post you saw today is nothing strange. Yes, it's for me. I just decided to be more. I just decided to be clearer, in terms of how I put with my position on issues. So that was all. But that's my post.
Okay.
My account was not hacked.
Okay, that's your post. That's your post. So you just admitted to that. Now, the reason why, Councillor Gould, that people are very shocked, some individuals are very shocked, that Councillor Gould will now come up to declare support for this administration. It's because from the very get-go of this administration, you've been very critical and very harsh in your utterances, and especially against actions taken by this government. For example, when the whole crisis was on, the crisis concerning the removal of former Speaker Kofa, you were on the side of the law, and you indicated that this government was in violation of the law. For you now to flip in just a few months is shocking. Don't you see the point need to be surprised?
So the people should not be surprised, except those who maybe start to follow the person called Councillor Lafayette Bingo Senior. In the past regime, I was the only lawyer in the government, working with the government, that I availed myself to the public to give legal opinion on issues. Whether it falls in favor of the government or not, I spoke on what the law was. So it's not that when you were criticizing the government during the Speaker saga because I was against the government. No. I was criticizing the wrongs that we saw. And was I wrong? I'm sure I was not wrong, because I said that the government the people in the government were proceeding unconstitutionally. We supported the decision of the Supreme Court. At the end of the day, they were happy. They had the speaker that was elected and lasted for I think 8 or 9 months or so, had to step down and go for election. So they tell you that we have never stood on the side of the wrong. We always stood for what was right when it comes to the law. And that's why you see I'm not the person who gets involved into too much criticism when it comes to other sector, maybe agriculture. They go, no, I'm not too versed in those areas. So for me, I stick to where I have understanding of the law, and because that's the foundation. So I was not fighting the government. I was fighting bad elements and people. I said the president was involved into it. I was not afraid to say, President Boakai was supporting the wrong, and if I had a way, I said you're committing treason. I also said it. I said you're committing treason against the republic. I said it. And was I wrong? I don't think I was wrong.
Okay.
I've always supported the government, because if I say the truth, right? If I say you're doing wrong, and it turned out to show that you were, I want you to do things rightly.
Now let me come in quickly
to make the system work.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's understood. Let me come with my third question, and George coming. Now that you have declared your support for the Boyaka administration, what's your anticipation?
Anticipation? I'm a Liberian citizen. Look, I supported George Weah, President Weah, in 2017 in the runoff. When he came to power, and they started to do things outside of the law, I spoke against them. I spoke against President Weah when he appointed, what's his name, Tim, outside of the law, criticized, spoke openly. I spoke against President Weah when he unilaterally or tried to usurp the function of the board of villages by disgracing Weapon Spirit and order. I spoke against him openly. I spoke against him appointing ministers in government to serve on campaign committee in the 2020 government. I supported opposition candidate Darius Dillon twice. So I've always been the person who stood up for the right thing. That's all. And so coming to this government, I didn't support this government in the runoff. It doesn't mean that I cannot support them when they're doing right. It also doesn't mean that I cannot criticize them when they do wrong. So my position here is I support the Fowl March of Liberia. I'm a patriot. And as a patriot, I must speak truth when it exists, and I must speak against wrong when it also exists.
Councillor Gould,
I said to you, it is above self-seeking.
okay,
I don't want to be a person who will give a clean opinion on issues. I don't want to be connected to, a political party. Oh, this man, opposition person from the party, as the reason why he's saying this. Oh, the man, he want job. The reason why he's saying the people will say all kinds of things. I don't care.
now, Councillor Gould,
We are regime. I will do it this time.
okay.
So my patriotism is to support the former parts of the country, support what all the government is doing, because I'm currently doing it. I'm working with the government. I support it.
Yes, there were my last question. I mean, my fourth question was now coming. I know the last time I checked, you've been on government's payroll. You still working the government as a prosecutor, I believe. Is it that maybe you fear your job being threatened, for which you chose to flip in the manner you flip?
Look, I criticize this regime. I criticize the bad things that were ongoing. I had an opportunity to be extended the contract. This regime extended my contract. So if the regime was so much behind me to get me up, they would not have a hearing that proved the extension of my contract for where I am. So there's no issue of fear of job. Let me tell you something. And I go back again. For me, I had a story. During the regime of President Weah, when I criticized it, when I called on the radio, and I gave an opinion that would not satisfy some government official, other people will come and say, Council the thing told are true, but for all we can talk it for where we sit. The same government, here, some of the things that I can write on Facebook, some people come and say the thing told are true, but we can't talk it. So say they can't talk it for all, we say what's me, I say what's seven. The only time I'll be friend with you, the only time that I cannot be as vocal that as people will see me to be is when I become a presidential appointee. I will not be vocal at that, because when you become a presidential appointee, when you speak for and on behalf of your principal, which is the president. You are a representation of the president. That's why I'm very careful and I'm very critical about people who just go on radio, presidential appointees go on radio and just say anything they want to say, because it is a representation of the person you represent. I know that you represent in that position. So for that one, you will not get me to talk openly. I will talk inside. For now, as a civil servant, I have the right to speak. I speak when it's right. I speak when it's wrong. Simple. So, George, if you do something good, I will support George. You have done a good job. As a required, you elected, and thank you. If someone, George, you slip on the law, especially the law you slip, I will say, someone, George, you made a mistake on the 1 year and correct it. So I don't think for me, people should be thinking, why losing job? My brother, look, I'm an experienced lawyer. I served my country over 20 years. I have come outside for 2 years working in the international cycle. I got too much to my belt that I will be worried about some job at the Ministry of Justice. I can be consultant. I can put anybody in Liberia.
Okay.
I'm solid.
Okay, let's hold you there quickly.
What matters more is the foul march of the country. And when a government is in charge, we have to give the government full support to ensure that it delivers on its deliverables.
Okay.
In
All right.
areas where they make mistakes, we tell them that they make mistakes.
Okay, let's hold you there. Let's hold you there, Councillor. Let's hold you there quickly.
Mistakes have been made. We tell the president that Mr. President, you made mistake, or your official making mistake, take action. We're not
Okay.
quiet on that one.
Okay, just a question from.
That's why you read my post. Read my post. And I make it clear. I say I will not take nonsense. And I made it clear. I will not take nonsense from any official that will flagrantly violate the law. No.
Okay. All right. So let's hold you there quickly. Let's hold you there. Let George Kennedy ask the question. Can you take a question from George, one of the panelists here? Just.
Councillor Gu, good evening. Councillor Gu, good evening. Yeah, brother. I am a bit concerned when you said during the speakership of Saga, you said that the president was either supporting or committing treason. Did I get you right on that?
Of course, I said it. I said the president committed treason. That's why
Very good. If he says so,
my word when I speak.
yes, sir. My question is, if you say so as a lawyer, you've now come back to support someone who you said was committing treason. Where then is the law?
Well, you understand the president has immunities, and people in the country have there's a branch of government that has the authority to take action. We speak when we see it happening. As far as the concern is, they are putting it behind us. And let me tell you, when I spoke that time, I said the president cannot be, someone, he cannot be arrested. They say you'll be impeaching, right?
Yeah.
If you fail to impeach the president, does not mean that those who were in the conspiracy to commit treason against the republic go free. The government will come tomorrow. We will support the government. The government may not, come back. Those people will still not be left off the hook. We'll go for them. The president will be free because the president has immunities. So it was more going to those people who think that because they have presidential support, they can be shielded. You know what I'm saying? That even after the government leaves power, we can go for them. We'll go for them. I made it clear. And I still maintain, all of those persons who conspire against the Constitution of Liberia to violate under Article 76, Paragraph 5, my brother, when the time comes, we'll go for them.
Okay.
So I'm not saying because we had issue yesterday, so it means that what is going on today, because that's the government we have. So let's proceed, let's work. We have put that one behind all. It means that we'll forget for it. When you will know, we identify the people already who are involved, who are the instigators, we know them. But let's move the country and go forward. The country is going forward now. Let's work to ensure that the best come. When the best come, while we enjoy that best, we can stay good for the people who try to undermine the Constitution. So I've not changed on my position of those who violated the Constitution flagrantly. No, I've not changed on that. I maintain that in the event, they are not in power. Even if President Boga wins tomorrow, 2029, and some of those people who were involved into the conspiracy and to commit treason against the Republic and undermine the Constitution, we can still go for the people. President Boga said at that time we get to understand that, oh yes, maybe he was advised, he was ill-advised. He was being ill-advised by people. So he's not a lawyer. He's a direct politician. So but he had advisors. So people who advise, if they're advising legally, well, we can't hold them for the legal advice. People have to understand. But when it comes to the issue of the Supreme Court opinion, right? The Supreme Court opinion, that was the issue now will hold them responsible for. Those who spoke, who allowed the president to say that he support, George Black, will go for them because it means that they ill-advised the president to make that statement.
Are you making reference to the the Attorney General, number one, you're making reference to the current speaker. Are you making reference to others who
The legal
the legal advisors? Are those people you're making reference to?
The Attorney General of the Republic of Nigeria spoke once one day. Let me tell you, look, you know, people talk about the Attorney General, and the General is a smart man. He spoke once when there was dispute about the opinion of the Supreme Court, and he rendered his advice. When the Supreme Court ruled, did you hear him speak? Did you see any writing from the Attorney General? When the Supreme Court ruled in the second time, recognizing Speaker Kofa, did you see the Attorney General write anything? Look, let me tell you something. We know the people. We'll go for them.
But name some of name some of them for us now.
I don't need to get them out.
So, Council,
Back to the past.
Council,
Once we go back to the past, what I said before, I don't mention my word. What I said before, I'm meeting there, I won't do it. It's there. It's in the closet, we're keeping it. We are moving forward. I said I declared my full support for the government. It means I declared my full support for the Liberian people. Because we believe that the government was voted to push the agenda of the Liberian people.
Okay.
Should we fight? Should we fight the government? No. What we do is that we support the government.
Okay, Council, let's hold you there and let George Kennedy ask his last question quickly.
Let me just learn quickly. In the process of supporting the government, we would not shy away from speaking out when there are wrongs. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Nothing stop us from from somebody saying that when somebody commit a crime, they say we can go for them. Well, those people, they are already packed. We know them.
Okay. Okay, George Kennedy, you can ask the last question.
Council, I know a lot of things push politicians. Let me speak to you as a politician. Let me address you as a politician, now as a lawyer. You participated in the last election. You were unsuccessful. Now, the government was brought in by the political party. I would like to ask you to please tell me and the Liberian people what really drove you or is driving you to say now you support this government.
No, I've never been. The first thing is, have I ever been against the government? No. That's the first question. Have I ever been against the government? I've never been against the government. If you follow me in my analysis when I was a panelist on the spoon, you will follow. You know that you will see the balance. So I've never been against the government. I just decide. Because people, people. Well, a lot of say, oh, in this place, in that place, so we just be clear. Look, we support the institution called government. We've always supported government. Always. But when people in the government decide to degrade the image of the government, then you have us now to contend with. Because I'm in the government as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the accusation today that's going to the past government, you don't think we feed it? We feed it to because we're in the government also. I was a prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? So this government are also a prosecutor in it. So when you criticize the government the way it works, when you criticize the justice system, what are you doing? You're criticizing me as well. So if I am in the justice system have been criticized, then myself too will put a cap to look and see who is in the justice system that's causing problem. And when you go around the justice system, I will speak against it.
Okay, Senator, let me say, Senator. Councilor, Councilor, finally from my end, let me just ask you finally from my end. Your critics maybe may think that you are trying to wrongly calculate. I can remember, Councilor, you were appointed as assistant minister at the Ministry of Justice. Unfortunately, that appointment was withdrawn on grounds that your role you play at the time prosecuting the former Chief Justice Gura Muscat was inappropriate and you didn't serve well. Now you are coming to support the administration that denied you serving your country as assistant minister. Are you calculating well?
So I think, in fact, maybe I was even degraded because I'm capable of being Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. So I'm not discussing assistant minister of job. I'm capable of being Chief Justice. I'm not discussing assistant minister of job. And I would say again, whether it's Dora Buzuska, whether it's John Brown, whatever the case. Whatever decision I took in that particular case, I have no regret for it.
Okay.
If the facts and circumstances will reoccur, I will do the same thing. And I will do it harder.
Okay.
I will do it better than I did it before.
Thank you, Councillor Gould.
So let's just pull out one side. There's no issue of miscalculation here. I'm a Liberian.
Okay.
There are two ways to serve government, either as a civil servant or as a presidential appointee. For any reason, they choose at the time not to allow them to go through to serve. No problem. I'm still in the government. I'm still working.
Okay.
Should I fight? Should I get vexed? So no.
Okay. We really appreciate your time, Councillor Gould. Thank you very much.
The government are supported. The government are supported in 2017. The government are supported in 2017. They didn't give me presidential appointment. I get fair. I will stay in the country working. I will go in outside representing the country. You know, you follow my record. So now on a foreign mission, representing the very country, because the country flag here in South Sudan. You know, so
okay.
I want to have one for assistant minister of the job.
Okay.
All that I want is we must work to ensure that our country moves forward, and those elements in the government, in society that want to enrich themselves, at the expense of the Liberian people, want to misbehave against the law, they want to violate the law openly, and think that nothing can come of it. They have people that also contend with.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Gould. We really appreciate your time this evening. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, brother.
Okay, so gentlemen, let me hear from you guys. We'll go to our next discussion. What's your takeaway, Edwin? This guy is a lawyer. You are a law student. I know. It's not about trying to connect, trying to create some relationship, but just tell us about your open mind. This guy is one person who, from the very get-go of this administration, he was very, very very outspoken. He was a firing. He has been a firing opposition supporter. Now today he decided to flip and declare his support for the administration. You think he's in good faith? Let me put at first.
Well, in as much as we have in our code, the law is a fraternity. So we're supposed to be our brothers' keepers. As I'm trying to now get into that particular professions. But I think he spoke as a Liberian, and irrespective of where he found himself at the time, as a prosecutor, his duty was to prosecute any crime believed to have been committed against the state. So for me, I don't think there's any, reasons for us to hold him to that, because he was simply performing his job. You could be a prosecutor; they could bring your brother.
No, that was one reason. Yes. We understand, but we are looking at this abrupt. Cross carpet,
but he's not the only one, right?
No, I'm making reference to him. Like I said from the very get-go, he's been very, very vocal, very critical. In fact, he's on record for even saying, like he just said a few minutes ago, that the president at the time was committing treason when he was involved with this whole case to remove former speaker. Is it in good faith that he decided to cross carpet this time around?
I think
to declare
basically I would say yes. It is in good faith, and the reason for this, as lawyers, today you could be on the prosecution side, tomorrow you could be on the defense side. Depends on exactly how you analyze the case and how you see it. And at that time, like he rightly said, he was looking at what the Supreme Court has said and what the executive was doing. So, quote unquote, as a lawyer, he was under obligations to provide his opinion as to what the law says. Now, I was just about to bring other lawyer in. If you listen quite recently, Councillor Kandio Bala, who was in fact the campaign spokesman for the CDC, there are a lot of things that he's been saying positive about the government, right? And people are now pushing him to say, oh, he's belly driven, he's looking for a job, he's doing XYZ. Look, I can boldly say this. The legal profession is one profession where lawyers don't beg for a job because you're trained to be able to create a job for yourself. Councillor Good is a councillor at law. He's been in the practice for a very long period of time. So with or without government job, he can survive. But as a Liberian citizen, I think that he's seen some of the improvement that have been made over the past 1 year, nine months now. And then he decided to say, I think the administration is actually progressing well. So therefore, I need to give them some credit. However, he has not said that he has joined the United Party. He's just saying that he's giving support to the president in the way in which he sees the country moving on the new trajectory.
Do you think he's going to be embraced by what he said by UPists, by some other supporters, other members of the party? You think he's going to be embraced? I don't think, especially a man who's been firing from the initial stage.
I don't think he's doing it because he wants to be embraced by them. You know, like he rightly said, he spoke his mind. You know, whether they liked it, whether they take it in good faith or in bad faith, he has already spoken his mind. And I 100% believe in what he says being genuine. Like I said about the issue of Councillor Kandobala. You know, he's been out there firing to say, look, in as much as I was a campaign spokesman for CDC, I was in the inner cycle, but the progress that I see today in my country, I think I should actually applaud the Unity Party for what they have done, because we were here for 6 years. It was difficult to even get to my own county in Grenjide. Today, during the rainy season, I can drive from Monrovia in less than 4 or 5 hours. I'm in Grenjide. So you want me to still be criticizing them as yourself?
Do you think he's being honest when he's saying that, especially a man who, we're not discussing about Kano now, but okay, let me leave you and go to George quickly. George, what's your takeaway from what Good said, and knowing Good to be a firing guy from the very get-go of this administration? He even one time said that the president was committing treason. In fact, he went against the position of the Attorney General when he ruled, when he made his opinion in favor of the current speaker.
One of the reasons why a president can be removed from office is treason under our law. So if a lawyer says the president committing treason, and then he comes back to tell me, say, oh, he's supporting this president, it's a contradiction. I know Councillor, my man will not let go. So if we got to get it, so he will let it go there.
No, go ahead.
But it's a big contradiction for me. I mean, I'm surprised by his response to that particular question that I asked him. He should have been very clear. Look, any president that comes here, you commit treason, seriously, I can support you, because I know that it's against the state. And so one of the reasons why you can be removed from office as president when you commit treason. Okay, so for a lawyer, and one thing I want a councillor to understand is your opinion as a lawyer is not the law. That's why you go to court and two lawyers arguing. The judge will look at the facts based on the law and rule. So by you saying lawyer, he says so you cannot be authoritative because you may have the other opposing sides to counter your argument. So I always hear some lawyers trying to propound that this is the law, this is the law. Yeah, but is it really in the code of law? So I think Councillor should do better. He's a smart guy. I mean, he wore his party uniform. I mean, a t-shirt yesterday and ran campaign. He should have gotten a simple political move to say, look, as a politician, let me pull my legal profession on one side and say, look, I will wear green on December 6th. Yeah, then you're going to be speaking. But he said, I support all government. Then he will be more than Mr. Koti, whoever gives in the country. I hope my baby like happens with me. But in all fairness, yes, let's be real. Face the fight.
So you think he's not being honest?
I don't think he's being honest.
Yes,
I don't think he's being honest.
Okay.
I don't think he was practicing in the private sector as a lawyer. He would have been South Sudan right now. He will have been making money here, but being South Sudan on a government trip and all of them going around the world on a government trip.
Yeah.
And, I mean, let's face the reality. I don't think he will have been there right now.
Again,
but he's a lawyer. Let's just put that aside.
Mhm.
Like I said, lawyers are not people who go around begging for jobs.
It's
right?
true. Right.
But just to point out on the issue of the treason, he said he was looking at the law, what the law says about committing, a crime of treason. Now, it will not become a crime if the authority that's supposed to take the actions, in this case, it was the legislature, they should have known that this and this has happened, and then they would have moved to impeach the president. When the president is impeached and removed from office, then it becomes a crime. The president can be prosecuted for it. That's why you say the authority that's supposed to make sure that happened did not do it, so we put it behind and move forward. Now, after this, you cannot hold the president liable for it once that process has not, taken place for him to be removed from office. So it's no longer a crime. So even if, based on his definition of what the law says that treason was, you can no longer hold the president liable for it because the action was not properly handled by the authorities that should have handled it. But I believe that, like I said, he's a lawyer, he's a politician, because he's been around politics for a very long time. I know him from the ANC. The ANC angle.
He left.
He went to different parties, CDC or so. So he's a lawyer and he's a politician, So
okay, let's try to hold on and bring him back on. I think he's been monitoring. So I think he wants to react to something that somebody said.
Yeah, maybe that may.
George Kennedy. Let's hear from you, Councillor Gu, once again.
Yeah, so thank you. So I listen to my friend George. I didn't know that was the George that I know. I listen to Georgie. So what Georgie, said was that he's questioning my honesty. Look, anybody can question whatever you say. So I have no issue with him discussing about questioning honesty or not. It is left with me. My history, my records of how I speak and how I present issues will determine whether I'm honest in what I'm saying or not. But to say that, I own government trip, I own this and that, or so, that's the reason why. Hey, I was in a very South Sudan when the speaker saga was ongoing. I was on this very government mission when I spoke the way that I spoke, when I took the side of the law. I didn't think that I would be recalled. I was here with all of the criticism that I gave to the government. They didn't come after me to say, they would take me from the end from the mission or whatever the case was.
Because the Greens are good.
For an extension, the government granted my extension. So it's not because that I work in the system. In fact, that's the reason what makes me a little bit different from others. I work in the system and I speak truth to power. When people sit outside as opposition and criticize and say they're speaking truth to power, no. When you work in the system where your livelihood comes from, and you still speak to the system, the wrong that's going on, that is speaking truth to power. So for me, Georgie, I am not the normal people. Yeah, I'm not the normal people. If you follow me from the George Weah time, I was special assistant to Solicitor General, but I was taking position that the government had issue with, but I didn't care. You should know one time that they even told me to resign for a bold decision that I took in favor of the Liberian people. And I didn't care. So all I'm saying to you, you said, because I said the president's committed criticism for look. We can have differences at a certain point in time. I said it. I maintain it. I don't hold my word back. But we're moving forward. People should take a decision. They didn't take a decision. Are the same people who are in the country. We're moving forward now. So let's move forward with what happened. Who can be held accountable tomorrow will be held accountable. I've been run the country because things happen wrong. No. So I support the government. I support the government, but I would not sit while I'm supporting the government. When something's wrong, I won't say it.
Okay.
I will speak it wrong.
Councillor?
Yeah.
George Kennedy here again. There's some information emanating from your own quarters, some of your supporters in District 11. they are confiding in us that actually December 6th will be in our green. Can you confirm or deny that, sir? On December 6th.
I arrived in the country. No, I arrived in the country over the weekend.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I would not join any political rally or whatsoever. You would not see me.
Okay.
In fact, when I come, there will be another declaration that I will make.
Jesus.
Okay. All right, Council. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing going to make another declaration. Okay, gentlemen, let's try to move forward. Let's get the tape, the video, the short video containing the voice of the interim management head of the DEA. He made a statement, and I want us to give an analysis to what he said, whether it's been backed by law or not. Let's try to hear him quickly.
Our stewardship will confiscate. I want to repeat, will seize any property. You go to court and defend yourself and say the property I got are not a result of drugs. But we'll seize any horse that will find drugs in. We'll seize any vehicle that will find drugs in.
All right, so Jeremy, you heard the DEA head announcing that moving forward, if let's assume the arrested drug in a vehicle or in a home, that home will be confiscated. It's not the individual alone or the carrier of the substance alone, but they're going to also confiscate the house or confiscate the vehicle or whatever it is. Let me hear from you. Is that under the purview of or part of the mandate of the DA?
Certainly, I would say not, because I have not yet read the new drug law to say that it is actually clearly gave the DA the right to confiscate properties where it is believed, quote unquote, that drugs has been sold or drugs has been found. Well, it is his responsibility to speak the way he speaks, but at the end of the day, this is a country of law. You just don't confiscate people's property and you think that they're going to fold their hands, and say, okay, we're not going to follow it. At the end of the day, it is the court to determine whether the DEA or the government has the right to take people's property, because the issue of property is a constitutional issue. It is in our constitution. You cannot deprive people of their property. So what if the guy who said in the contraband in the property does not belong to him? What is he's a renter? And maybe the owner of the property doesn't even know that this guy who actually trading in the house, because people don't do drugs in the open. They do uncovered. All right. I could own a property and I live maybe in another place, but there's somebody there who's dealing drugs. And then you wake up, you say you're from DEA, you want to seize my property. Come on. Like I said, at the end of the day, it is the court that determine the actual, way forward. It is not even the DEA. So he's just saying his own, probably just to scare property owners to say, look, if you know people who are doing this habit in your property, you have to let them out now. Or you that own vehicles, if you are a conveyor, you need to stop it now. But at the end of the day, if the DEA thinks that they can seize property and they will just fold their hands or so, that's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, those cases will end up in court and the court will rule on the side of the law.
So in other words, there's no law backing what he said.
I've not seen that yet.
I've
not read that yet.
I think, just as he said, Mr. Fambula said, I've not seen the act creating the LDA as well. Property confiscation is part of their mandate. But even if you happen to confiscate property, I like what the DA boss said. We take you to court. The fact that he made reference to the court, it means that he respects the rule of law. So in my opinion, I think it's a strong deterrent. I think I don't know whether that falls under the FOC, because FOC, I think the fruit of a crime, where the property that you arrest, like the concubine, and if you arrest the drugs, that drugs that you arrested, I think that is a fruit of a crime. I don't know what the name is. So it's not the vehicle or the house that you will find those probably the drugs in. I don't think so. But let's see what the law says. But I think he's doing a good job. I think we should support him. And a kind of some action that are in conformity with the laws. If it takes them to make people scared, we should be able to support it so that these menace can be defeated.
But why would you want to support something that is not legal?
Well, he said he'll go to court. He said we'll take you to the court.
But again,
once one court issue comes in and he agreeing to go to the court, it means that.
But why subject the government to a legal battle that you know in yourself that the government will not win?
Well, again, he can recommend to the executive for maybe an amendment into the new drug law to say, look, we need to include the issue of property confiscation if we go into the property and we believe that the owner of this property know or have reasons to know that somebody is in the house dealing in contraband. So therefore, they are party to that crime or they're benefiting from that crime. Or maybe the owner of the house is the one who is actually dealing in this contraband and probably using the proceed maybe to buy the house or use it to buy another property also. So there are a lot of ways that you can work around it, but it has to be legislated. It has to go back to the people who make the law to either amend the law to say, look, let's take it further. In the absence of that, if it's not in the law, at the end of the day, you go to the court and the court will tell you, say, hey, you can't do that.
And Mario, he's a trained police officer, very trained investigator.
But he's not a lawyer.
I think he's speaking from certain information he may have had. Probably he getting some information that we don't know, that he issuing such warning, and I mean,
again, in the like you rightly said, in the security, you do these things sometimes for deterrence. To make people because the people who doesn't understand how the legal system works, when they hear say that the DEA is saying that once they catch drugs in your house, they're going to confiscate that house. Guess what?
Nobody wants to see drugs.
Nobody wants to see drugs in their property. All right, it's almost like what we do now with the power theft thing. We ourselves, we're trying to say, look, if we come, we see the house on power theft, we'll hold the owner responsible, we can do this and that. Those are deterrents. But at the end of the day, when it goes to the court, it is the court that will have to rule exactly as to how you move forward.
Okay. Well, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prom FM 105.5 and other stations in rural Liberia. We are also streaming live tonight on Prom FM Monrovia 105.5 and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. That's our Nighttime Heat Facebook and YouTube channel. We want to share tonight's show. It promises to be very interesting. I'm sure you've been listening to the discussions already. So share so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight. Now, gentlemen, let's try to treat this topic. Under the leadership of President Joseph Yuma Boyka, what has changed in 2 years as compared to previous years? What has changed? What have we seen? And of course, we're going to list some of the things that we are making reference to. What have we changed? What have we seen? What are the changes that we've seen since this government came to power almost 2 years now? Let's look at roads first. Let me get your take, Mr. Famula.
Well, if you want to take it from the aspect of the roads, I think there have been significant progress made we're just speaking about the Southeastern Road, the Southeastern Corridor, where a lot of people have been praising the government that even you have MTA buses, you have taxis and kekes even going to, the Leeward counties. In the past 2-3 years, I went to the Southeast. In fact, at one point in time, we had to go to Ivory Coast to come back to Monrovia because we went, believing that because it was the beginning of the dry season, so the road was okay, but when we got there, it was very terrible.
Okay.
In fact, at one point in time, the managing director at that time for LEC, even he felt so disappointed in the advanced team that we sent because the guy was giving us feedback that, oh no, the road is okay, you guys can come. We got to a place. There's a place between Grand Jide and Nimba County, I think Blood Yala also. That place was very terrible. We spent almost 4 or 5 hours in that place just to get the cars out or so. But today, people now applying that road and going to the southeast. In fact, the other day I listened to the Grand Jide Senator, Honorable Joe Penner, praising the government that he could, people left from Grand Jide came to town. The next day they were back, and now
don't you think that was a political statement made by?
I don't think so, because you don't play politics with those things. There are certain tangible things that when happening, there's no way you can hide it. Because if it was political, people from Grand Jide would have said, no, what he's saying, that's not true. In fact, it would have been reflected in the prices of commodities in that part of the county. In places like the remote part of Grand Jide, where we know people were buying rice from the Ivory Coast, gasoline, and so now these commodities are leaving from Monrovia and going straight to the southeast. I have a friend who is a lawmaker, Honorable Dibi. Dibi goes to Grand Jide frequently. He drives his car back to Grand Jide. The other day, I saw another video. There was a lady who drove this RAV4 mini Jeep from Vonjama all the way to Monrovia. So it shows some level of improvement.
Okay.
In as much as there are no asphalt road in some of those areas now, but it shows that the roads are pliable. Even in my own county, Grand Kibma County, I was there one point in time, from Medina all the way to Robertsport, the road is paved, and now they're working on trying to put asphalt on that road.
So you think under the leadership of President Joseph Imabwaka, there's some changes.
There's some changes being made basically with the roads.
Okay, let's hear from George.
Not just some very serious changes. We heard about $22 million being used to rehabilitate the roads in the rural areas. Some people say, oh, the $22 million Minister of Public Works stole the money. But if you check now what's being done, the $22 million, you will know that it's even far beyond the $22 million. You see, if you go to the southeast where the police will buy 25 kg bag of rice for up to $6,000. Today, you can get it for $14, $15 there. Today, you see people buying gallon of gas in Grand Jide, according to the senator and other people that go there, for $700. Worst case scenario, $800 Liberian dollars for a gallon of gas on that side. So it tells you also that the fare from Monrovia to go to places that are lower. The NTA bus is taking people from Monrovia to Harper for around $3,000 to $4,000 Liberian dollars. Just imagine.
It used to be around
15,000.
On
motorbikes.
On motorbikes.
So
even vehicles.
So we're not saying this to just heap praises. We're saying because they are the reality that happening. Today, I was so impressed when I read that the legislature right now has before it a road concession, a road agreement of around $365 million. The 4-lane road going to Bo, the road hitting to Tottenberg and other places, including Lofa Road. So these things show, these developments show that when the president said when he become president, no car will hitch in a mud. Some people going to other places.
You think he's displaying that?
Seriously.
No,
serious.
With the improvement, and I think it's unfortunate that we have a one-sided program. And I don't blame you guys.
We're not lying. If that's the truth.
I'm coming. We try getting the other sides. Can you imagine, gentlemen? Let me just share this joke. A guy who claimed to be a leader, a spokesperson of one of the major political parties, he's been trying to get to us to also come on the program, and that's the reason. That's the reason why we set up this program for all sides. We just want one side, continue to.
So this is one-sided.
This is one side.
To see the truth is one-sided.
I'm coming.
No,
And then unfortunately, the guy has reached out to me and said, "Mama, can you imagine my smartphone has a political party spokesman."
Why a man want to bring
I'm not gonna want to. But God, from another political party, he said his smartphone has a So are we serious, man? But anyway,
but Slowboy, just a disclaimer: I've never joined a political party in my entire life.
okay, that's good.
My families, have this progressive background, but I've never joined any political party.
But you are a supporter of the ruling unity party.
No.
Somebody say
For
it.
me, I speak reality, right? I should speak reality because, like I said, I've had my personal experience on those roads going to the southeast.
Okay.
At a point in time, we're going to the southeast, and we have to use the other road through Bikiana to go all the way through Grand Cru. I regretted why I even went on that trip. In fact, we reached to a point. I even told the driver, I said, "Look, I'm not going to leave in this vehicle for you to pass on 2 logs." And the driver came down and said, "But Chief, I'm driving the car. You think I don't have life?" I said, "God forbid if the car fell in the river, somebody would take the news back that something has happened. But we all can be in the car, and we cross on that bridge." So I lived it. I saw it. And today, if people telling me that the road is easily accessible and you don't see those kind of conditions on the road any longer, I think it's a plus.
Okay.
Also, the bridge between Ivory Coast and Maryland. I also experienced that. One of the most fearful thing that I've ever gotten on was that ferry, because we have fleets of cars and we have to put those cars on the ferry. We're on the ferry crossing that water. And I was saying, what if the engine of this thing failed? And then you see the force of the water going down. Today they are constructing a modern bridge between Liberia and Ivory Coast on a particular Kavala River. Do you know what it's going to do? It's going to open a serious trade within the southeast.
So from the both of you guys' perspectives, there's some improvement, there's some changes.
There is a
The message
Serious.
You got to qualify the
Serious. Serious.
Okay, gentlemen, let's look what there has been also changes in our international relations. Again, let me start with you, Samurai George.
Very serious.
Internationally.
Very serious.
What-
The image of the country has and is being improved every time.
What do we see? What reflects the changes?
Well, the first biggest news is the extension of visa, the great United States.
You say because I got see.
Yeah, it's there's one again. This one, you see the truth. When the truth comes, we say when we see some lapses, we say because we human, so we know that we can make mistakes sometimes. But it is not lie.
So the extension of the extension period
of our visa for 6
so
months, 1 year to 3 years.
It does it show any improvement in our international?
Sure. Liberia, since I brought a fund there, I think at the highest.
When Ghana has 5 years.
Yes.
We talking about 3. Is that and given our history?
Yeah.
With it,
Have we
I'm
really
coming
been?
now. You said I want to give you more.
Yeah, give the history.
If Ghana is 5 years, and giving our relation with the U.S. government, we are just receiving 3 years in extension.
Yeah.
Do you consider that as an improvement on international?
Sure.
relations?
In the 80s, prior to the war, visa was practically free for Liberians. We abused it because of the war. Our country became a pariah state. We are recovering where we see when the U.S. or foreign countries see a government as responsible, they try to ease some of their restrictions, and that's what's going on. So Ghana those days never had that opportunity that we had.
In fact, Ghanaians were coming here to get
Ghanaians were coming here to get American visa.
Of course.
So right now, because of stability in Ghana, because of
So number one, that the visa extension.
Yeah.
Number two,
the entire world now is open to Liberia. That's why sometimes some people can want discredit, we can say no. The past leadership, the past administration launched our bid for the UN Security Council, not permanent member.
let's give them the credit.
We came. Maybe they thought I joked, they didn't really resonate, but we came and pushed it because we saw the importance and we got it. Right now, because we got our seat, even the Great France, key countries want to do business with Liberia because they will need Liberia's vote, they will need Liberia's support in getting certain things done in their countries. Just imagine when it comes to Liberia, who were sanctioned yesterday. Liberia now sitting on Saheli sanction committees to impose sanctions on other countries that were considered leading countries yesterday. Right now, Liberia chairing a committee on the UN to impose sanctions on those countries. So it tells you how we have improved over time. And really, kudos to the president, kudos to the foreign minister and her team. We're really moving. From France, I'm told we're going to other countries. We'll be going to the UAE and other countries. Some people asking what is coming from there. They will see the difference.
We'll talk about that. Okay, let's see. Moses is trying to come on. Let's okay.
Yeah, Moses.
Moses, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Sabo. Just allow me to break this silence. You all know I'm bereaved.
But, we did announce that.
Sorry, Moses.
What happened to you?
Yeah,
He's bereaved.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and thank you so much, guys. I'm monitoring the show, and I want to piggyback on the statement that Sabo made. And Sabo said it seems that we have a one-sided show tonight.
Yeah, sure.
And honestly speaking, Jeremy, what I'm listening tonight, what I'm monitoring, is a reflection of the crowds we loaded.
Surely. It is.
And that show is now the government PRO.
No, it's not a government PRO. But Edwin will not be made enough to default.
Let Mr. Sandy learn.
Go ahead. We'll respond to him.
Yeah, so this is the thing that really stood out to me. When you play the tape where the officer in charge of the LDA made that statement, unsupported statement, legally unsupported statement, that the police will begin to, that the LDA will begin to confiscate people's property without legal bargaining. I was disappointed to hear my brother, Mr. Kennedy, and my brother that to say, that's how sometimes people in law enforcement do to intimidate people. Look, we have to be honest. We have to speak the truth, regardless of who is involved. There's no legal basis for what I got to say.
But we didn't see this.
You don't make statement that is not supported by evidence, is not supported by law. I expected that Mr. Famule, who is a senior student in law school,
What I said
to say that, hey,
He didn't use a particular word that he wants you to use.
Please, gentlemen, let's give the man time.
that are there to differ with the LDA boss. What you say has no legal basis. But for the guys to tell us that, oh, well, that's another way of intimidating people so that they can begin to take some actions against people who are selling drugs, I'm really disappointed. I said, I'm being honest. I said, no, this show here tonight, no. It's not the show that had to be.
Yeah, surely.
Thank you for calling. But Mr. Sandy, hello. frankly,
Brother George, how are you?
yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm really sorry for what happened, but frankly, tonight I'm very appointed. You know why, Mr. Sandy? Probably you want to also use your choice of word, but for me, we said we have not seen any law that supports his action, any action of such. But if there is a law, we want to see it. But this thing, he could be saying that thing to deter
people from
people. So probably the choice of word that you want to use to go lambast him, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that really. I will say that I have not read the LDA law, whether it is there or not. But even if it is not there, we are not seeing any law that says so. But he said he's referring to the court. The court is the right place to go.
And we went further to even say that property issues are constitutional
They are
issues.
constitutional issues.
So therefore, nobody can deprive another person of their property without going through a proper legal process. That's what we said. We didn't back him. What we said was that he could be doing that as a deterrent, so people can stop using their property to sell drugs.
So,
Mr.
Sandy,
yeah. Mr. Famulett or Mr. Kennedy, this is where I disagree with you guys. People in law enforcement should not be making statements that are not based on
facts,
legal evidence, not based on facts, because they want to deter people from doing the wrong thing. You should always speak nothing but the truth, and everything should be based on the laws. You can't make a statement that is not supported by laws. I'm not a student of law. Mr. Famulett is. If Mr. Famulett telling me that if he wants to deter people from doing the wrong thing, someone would make a statement that has no legal basis. Is that how you deter people?
At the end of the day,
so do you really know the LDA law? Can you tell me, Mr. Sandy?
But there's nothing in the LDA law.
When I say, are you speculating? I'm not seeing anything. So we said, but
there's nothing in the law. Don't back it. But let two guys want to back it.
There's nothing also be a political opinion.
Yes.
On that is what has been.
We were very mindful.
The man's on the line.
So you will say the rule issue again that
the best apply to you.
Yes, right, Moses.
We got to uphold what we stand for.
Yes, surely.
Striking that professional balance. That professional balance, we have to strike it. If I will look at Mr. Kennedy, I said, Mr. Kennedy, you're my friend and brother, you are in the wrong.
Yeah.
Look at it and say, my man, you are wrong, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Famulett, you tell me, say, Mr. Sandy, this one I disagree with you. Because it is not supported by laws. You guys said that. But for you to say that the guy made a statement to deter people?
Yeah, that was wrong.
No. The context in which the word was used, we said.
That should not be coming from people in law enforcement. No.
First of all, Slobo, we are taught in a way in the law school that if you listen to something.
All right, Moses, thank you, Moses. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And my sympathy again.
Lawyers are trained not to give a definite answer if they are not done research on the law.
We know what's in the law.
We don't know what the laws, and that's why I say the new drug law, because there's a new drug law that was one. We've then ready to see whether that particular portion that he's quoting is within the law. And that's why we said, and I also said that we don't know whether he's talking with the executive to see if there could be some amendment made to the law.
Okay, gentlemen, so let's get back on track. You were talking about
the foreign improvement in the foreign relations.
Surely, and you made reference to Liberia now being occupied at the occupying the seat at the UN Security Council.
Yeah,
non-permanent member.
And you were trying to state some of
Liberia now chairing the committee to sanction other countries that yesterday applauded Liberia being sanctioned. So it tells you that you came from the vice seat. Even from outside the building now, you are the front row deciding at the front row deciding other people's fate.
Okay.
So it's a major improvement
International.
in our international
Okay,
relations.
let's hear from you, Henry.
Well, again, I know my brother Kennedy is not Kennedy, Moses is listening, and we say probably we singing the Hallelujah chorus, for the government. But that's not the case. It is not patriotic to see the right thing happening and then you criticize. I don't think that's, patriotism. If the government does right, we'll praise them. If they do the wrong thing, we'll be the same people to sit there and say. Now, on the international front, between 2006 to 2017, President Sirleaf tried to bring Liberia back, on the map, because we had turbulence time from the 90s all the way to 2000 with the issue of the Civil War, the interim government. Liberia had a very bad, outlook out there in the international cycle. President Sirleaf tried to elevate it at some level. Yes, Liberia again gained recognition in certain areas. And then came 2017, President Weah came on board. There was some turbulent time. He tried his best to see how best, he could keep on that trajectory. But then at a certain point in time, we started backsliding again. Quote unquote, the issue with the 5 permanent member at the level of the Security Council, where Liberia's own support as is related to China interest, as it relates to America's
Israel's
Israel interest. We actually scored some very bad points there. Based on that, we saw even some of the promises that were made by the Chinese, they hold back on those things. There were diplomatic notes offline around here that we were actually going against their interests. Then, quote unquote, came the Americans, targeting certain key Liberian officials and putting them on sanction lists and so forth. That also helped to, narrow down our international ranking out there, because now our major ally in the international cycle, the most powerful country, has now started looking at key government officials, in fact, people who were the president's gatekeepers, putting them on sanction for various, acts from corruption to other stuff or so. So that also brought us, at a certain level, and people started looking at us with a second eye. Big nations who have maybe business interests or so started holding back. Then came in President Boakai, with a very good foreign ministry team, decided to step out there to say, look, let's try to rebuild this image. Let's go out there and say, look, all is not lost. Liberia has been part of all of these international organizations from its inceptions, and I think we can play a pivotal role. So what President Weah started with his whole quote-unquote Security Council or non-permanent member seat, it was again reactivated. And then the leaders, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other Liberians, worked together to make sure to go around to various countries to gain their support. And yes, that support was given, and Liberia was voted on the non-permanent seat at the level of the Supreme, at the level of the UN Security Council. Now, to what?
So how are we, the point is now, how are we leveraging that opportunity? What sort of new opportunity are we trying to explore?
I think we're doing that because as we speak, like I said, the Chinese are highly engaged with us. Right now, they're constructing the overhead bridge that was spoken about.
That overhead bridge, the whole process started before the administration came.
I did allude to that.
I'm fine. Since
No, I did say that.
What I'm asking, you breaking off Liberia being, occupying a seat, a non-permanent seat on the Security Council. My question is, how are we leveraging that to bring us more international dividends?
So that's what we're doing right now. Like I said, the Chinese are engaged with us into various sectors, into agriculture. They now, in fact, even trying to shift into energy. There's some kind of a communication that I saw the other day where they're still working on seeing how best they can help, in the energy sector too as well. Now, As we speak, the president was in Paris, now he's in Dubai. You know, these are all of the different firms. And we are hearing some positive news coming out of France, you know, in terms of business interest, in terms of other stuff. Now, I said here the other night, Total is a French government interest. So all of these people are here, you know, observing how we're moving on, what level of trajectory the country is moving on, what intervention they can make in terms of foreign direct investment into the country. Those things are going to come along. But there is a dividend that I think that, you know, Liberia is going to get. It may not be immediate, but as time goes by, we'll see those things coming in bricks and pieces, and then we'll take, you know, on that.
Do we know, gentlemen? Let me ask a question, because it's part of what we need to do to begin leveraging the opportunity to, you know, that we're supposed to leverage while on that non-permanent seat. Do we know whether our government has set up any office at the UN? Because that's supposed to happen as well. We should have, you know, some researchers, some staff there that, you know, will be part of our engagement outside. Do we know whether that has happened?
I think the foreign minister said that when she had her press conference. She talks about the issue of capacity, looking out there to see whether we have the competent skills of Liberians that are supposed to be there. And I'm very sure they've already started that process. I'm very sure that there are couple of.
Have you read whether that process has started? Have you read or have you seen?
Because it's a 2-year, it's a 2-year term. Officially, I'm sure that term will begin 2026 to the end of 2027. So that process now, as we go to the end of the year, that process, I'm very sure, has already kicked off, and they are now trying to find the suitable candidates that will go and occupy that space. Because, mind you, with we now heading this whole thing about sanction and co-chairing the one again, you need people that have some kind of legal background in international law and the different stuff. So, but you can definitely look around within Liberia, outside of Liberia, in the United States, there are a couple of experienced lawyers who are out there that can occupy those seats. You know, and adequately represent Liberia's interest.
Okay, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. I'm sure I'll open the lines very shortly so that you can also participate. The Nighttime Heat it's aired directly on Prime FM 105.5 and also relayed by other stations. Radio Gegema, that is Nimakane, Radio Kwatika, Radio Bonk, all of them. Radio Wolegisi in Lofa, they are relaying this program. We are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. and also streaming live on our YouTube and our Facebook page. Gentlemen, in terms of water supply, because a major basic social service for our people, do we see some transformation in that? Do we see any changes, or are we still at the same level in terms of the fees and availability of the water?
To me? Sure, we see improvement. Except where we in Maba Point area, we're talking claiming.
So then what do you call improvement? You're not far from water and sewer.
Yeah,
you're not receiving the same thing.
Probably that's technical issue, but you said I think probably you said we've been giving too much praises. Where the truth is, we put it there.
Yeah.
We in Maba Point, Mr. Family and I, we ain't seeing water yet. We want to see it, but we see it on the Oro, Painville, the other places, even all the town, we're seeing it. That's huge improvement.
So not much improvement.
It's huge.
But what makes it huge?
It's huge.
You just throw
because the water had not claimed the hill yet, so I would say no improvement.
What makes it improvement?
Because it had gone to places that it wasn't
when the LWSC has not covered the entire
city. Yes, it's true.
So is that improvement?
Yes. You have
not covered the entire Monrovia, but you go Old Road.
Maybe that's what I said. Probably that's some technical issues that they have to handle for the water to pump up the hill. So we are here. I want to tell Mo. I want to tell Mr. Ali That Mama Point up the hill, Ducal Hill is here. Don't forget about this hill. This hill is really waiting to see your impact. We see the good job that you're doing in other places, water going. And those who are using it, they say it's very reasonable. I mean, the fees, you know, some people say it's very reasonable.
Okay, let me give you.
I think Slobo was actually tonight. He's actually being very, very careful in trying to select certain key areas.
It's intentional. So
He has spoken about the economy. I see it jump from
I will come there.
yeah, just that, you know. Let me say this. Quite interestingly, over the past 6 years, the process of restoring water to Monrovia started. You know, from the substation at the fish market, there was, you know, the construction of the pipeline all the way through.
That was during the last administration.
The last
Yeah, that was
administration,
6 years.
all the way coming towards the there's a pump house somewhere.
Newport
around
Street.
Newport Street.
Yeah,
You know, because
sorry,
I was also part of that process. In fact, I, you know, approved the transformers and things that went in there. So now, again, I think 36-inch pipes or something that was built over 40, 50 years ago. They used these galvanized steel pipes. Those things have outlived. So over the past 1 year or so, I think there was some of those pipes that came in the country in huge quantity. I think that 36-inch pipeline has been, you know, they're now trying to build the new one using this
Aluminum.
this fiber stuff,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm sure once that particular line comes on, most or almost every part of Monrovia should be able to receive power. Now, the issue of Benson Street and other area, I think they need some kind of pump, you know, because when the water comes from water and sewer, it needs to be boosted. I think they call them booster station, where it picks the water up with certain force to be able to send it out to the other areas also. But like you rightly said, the lowland area, like in the Painesville, the Old Road, the Matadi, all of those areas, they don't have a lot of challenges because they don't need those boosters to be able to push the water at those level. I think one of the booster stations should be ready to Newport Street.
Yeah.
And then there is also a reservoir up Ducal.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually I think it is used to store water. So
is there some changes have been made? Do we see any?
There are significant changes that have been made with that because I think
as compared to
last
previous
week,
years.
yes, I think sometime even last week, the LWSC team was in Plebo in Maryland to, you know, start the water distribution stuff. They built, I think, some in Zwedru.
They built one in Bapolu.
They built one in Bapolu. There is one right now functioning in Cape Mount. You know, and you know, let's give them, you know.
Okay, let's talk about this our staple food rice. Do you see an inconsistent supply of it and reduction in the price? Yes, compared to previous years.
Yes, from the time the pronouncement was made for the reduction in the price of rice, I think there has been no question of availability of rice on the Liberian market. Rice is on the market. The price, as stated by the government, has not changed. And I think what the government has also done is to allow a free market system, open the market for people to be able to, you know, for those who want to compete in this business to also come and compete. In that way, once you remove the monopoly, because at first it was just few guys who were bringing the rice. So they decide exactly, you know, how to play, you know, the game. But now the market is open. Slobo, if you have, you know, money that you want to import rice, I bet you go to Ministry of Commerce, you should be able to get an IPD, you know, and that's a free market system. Once there is competition, it also helps to drop, you know, prices also. But if there's a monopoly, definitely the guys will try to exploit the situation. So I think rice has been available so far.
Consistent and
rice is largely 25 kg bag of rice is largely sold in Monrovia for $13.50. Some areas $13. Okay, so some of the areas going by the government
as
price
compared to previous years.
Oh yeah, some of The issue of rest price going to $13 started back or behind, and then it went up.
It went up, yeah.
Since 2018, it started at $13, but later it went up because probably the system did not have that control over that's our staple food, so it went back up to $17, $16. But
So
right
now
now,
the system we have now has control.
yes, because that's why I have not changed, and the government can say, hey, this is the price. Nobody's selling it above that. It won't go in below. So they got another businessman who can bring containers of rice, just put the containers down, water side, $13. So people just go and buy, and those type of things. So
Okay, let's talk about the supply of electricity and the expansion of it.
you see,
Do we see any?
you see,
Do we see-
he asked his question, and you know what is happening there. Then he told
No,
you,
NCBS,
Mr. Sandy called, he said, man, I feel out here,
NCBS.
That's why I know what LEC doing in this country right now. So I mean,
No, let's ask the LEC.
yeah, let's ask the LEC man.
Well, I think
Is it constant?
Slobber,
Are we going to see more constant?
Slobber, you have electricity in your home.
No, I don't want to answer for it. You answer.
No, but if you open the line right now, you know, I can tell you
Give me
that
the number there.
I can tell you that 50% of your callers that will call, they will tell you that yes, the electricity is constant, you know, compared to before. And also, if you talk on the issue of expansion, just the other day, Mr. Koti was here. He said that, you know, for the very first time he has electricity in his home in Broadville, you know, and we actually, you know, expanding to other areas. Take for example, in the southeast, we've in Riverside, we have power in right now. We also in certain part of Buchanan, we're now trying to work on electrifying Buchanan City itself.
Okay.
You know, certain part of Bond County on the CLSG, RE lines also. So there are a lot been happening behind the scene, you know, and I think the current management headed by Mr. Mohammed Sharif is actually, you know, doing extensively well, because for him, he's focused on trying to make sure that the light stays on. And there were some promises he made at his confirmation hearing that will go from 8 hours of load sharing to 0 hour of load shedding. And I think we're experiencing it now. With the absence of maybe breaks down in the transformer or maybe some technical issue within the area, barely people have, you know, people barely go off nowadays for maybe 5 or 6, 7, 8 hours, except there's a technical problem.
Okay.
And when those problems are about to occur, like the other day, we put out a circular to say that due to the lightning and stuff will be, you know, there will be downtime because these equipments sometimes they get affected by, you know, lightning strike.
Okay.
You know, it's lightning and electricity, they're not too friendly or so. So I see a significant
So
improvement.
in terms of affordability, is it affordable?
Well, again, I would say compared to, you know, other countries, just the other day again, Sam Jackson said it. If I wrote a post about that the bill that he pays here compared to the bill that he pays in the US, even when he's not there, is far better than what he pays in the US. You know, so it speaks to the fact that yes, we may be a struggling economy, but in order to be able to keep the lights on, we have to pay a certain amount for it. I know times are difficult. I know, you know, we find ourselves in different areas or so. But again, all of our customers don't pay the same price for electricity. So some people pay 15 cents per kilowatt hour. Some people pay 23 cents. Some people pay 19 cents or so. So it's not across the board.
Okay.
We have something called social tariff. So those who living in the slum or those who consume certain kilowatt of hour, you know, they have to pay for it. And again, you can manage your usage. Take for example, you Mr. George, you leave in your house in the morning when there's nobody home, the kids are all gone to school, you turn off your lights.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Okay.
when you come back,
General, finally, I know we'll have part 2 of it. But finally, let's talk about peace and security, the rule of law. Is there any improvement, or in the last 2 years, or we still see what used to happen before?
I see improvement, but we need to work harder to further improvement. That mostly lies with the judiciary that needs to actually the reform need to take place to fast track cases and speed up, because once it comes to the issue of huge pre-trial detainees in our system, the issue of human rights will always be on the negative side. So the judiciary needs a kind of support. They need to reform to ensure that, timeliness in trying cases, especially pre-trial detention, will reduce those things. So it affects the rule of law. When it comes to the issue of law enforcement, other thing, which is another component of rule of law, we see improvement. I see the police becoming more democratic, but still there are some challenges because you see some individuals that will always be biased elements in the system. Sometimes you're going to effect an arrest, you over-act on what you do, but generally from the administration of the police, you see the kind of democratic policing system that we see. Yes, with humans, there are some mistakes that in the kind of system that we see ourselves, but we see improvement.
You don't have any canton will not do the
So for that again, I would say we're challenged with that. Quite frankly, like Brother Kennedy clearly stated, like I said the other day, there are 3 components within the whole justice system. You have the police, you have the court, and then the corrections. Now, the issue of the corrections is highly challenged by the state, meaning our prison facilities are overcrowded, our prison facilities are dilapidated. There have been no, attention paid to that particular aspect, which of course is a violation of the human rights of those inmates who are in there. Yeah. So those particular areas need to be strengthened. Take for example, the Monrovia City Prison was built for I think 300 or 400 inmates. Today you have more than 1,000 plus people in there. The one in Grand Cape County, same way, was built for fewer numbers. Today you have large more people. Yeah. The one, in fact, at one point in time, one of my professors who lived there, in fact, he taught me a course called Prison and Prisoners or so. He said, I think some prisoners died there from heat exhaustion, meaning that they were too crowded in the place, and one or two of them died. Overcrowdedness. So we have to work on these, facility. When people come in contrast with the law, it doesn't mean that they are condemned. You put them there. That's why it's called correction facility, so that we can be able to rehabilitate them, and then we bring them back into society as useful persons. Okay. But that particular area is challenged. Also, the judicial aspect of our, whole trial system, the courts, you have more pre-trial detainees. So we need to also look at our law carefully.
So do we agree that we are still violating the human rights of people in prison?
Sure. Of course we are. Of course we are. Yeah, sure. And actually, as I said it, if they are living,
and that can take away
conditions
from us.
That's why the human rights report most often.
Okay. And then again, the police also. Sometimes the police
before you reach the police, let me try to announce the numbers because it's almost 10 o'clock. 0778 460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the numbers to call, and you are live on this program. Again, 0778-460-793. 0778-460-793. or 0886-050507. 0886-050507. Or this alternative line, 0776-540-987. Again, 0776-540-987. 987. Let's hear.
Yes. So I was talking about the police itself, right? Sometimes the police.
Okay, let's take this first call on the line. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I'm Eddie Johnson. I call from Omaha.
Okay.
Yeah, I think listening to the discussion. I think what your panelists are saying, every friend has some improvement that this government is making, especially when it comes to the electricity and other issues.
Okay.
But when it comes to the rule of law, I wanted to agree when it comes to police brutality. Under this government for the past 2 years in the past regime, I wanted to agree. How they look at police brutality? Thank you very much.
Okay. 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the number to call, and you are live. Good evening.
Good evening. This is James Peter back on from Benson Street.
Let's hear from you.
Okay, I want to say bravo to the police there concerning about the electricity. Well, as a speaking, I experienced from the first state electricity, and then I'm from Grandpa, so somewhere they call him up district. Last month I went there in that which I saw the current shining there. So I carry my car, back it right on the current because of the on the other side. I told them that TV in the town. They call it the new town.
Okay.
Okay, so with this, when I woke up, I saw why you're hanging all the horses. So I asked, they said, no, they're hanging wire until we can buy our own wire to electrify our horses before they will get current. So I will say bravo to them. Also to somewhere they call Pure Staff. I experienced the city. So I say thank you to them for the police star. I can't read it in a good grade.
Okay.
I mean, thank you.
Okay. Well, you said on the side of peace and security, the government is not doing well. The police not doing well. Good evening.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
sir.
evening, my brother.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I also want to say thanks to our brother now who is seated there. And I'm going to commend the government for all of the good things. Because right now, in Montserrat here, let's say, or March here, we're buying here for 2,700. It's very, very good for what the government is doing. But the only thing I want for the lawmaker to pass a bill in our house. We say freedom of speech, but they don't say freedom of thought. Other people, they are not respect our president in the country. They can go on radio and abuse our president. It's not good. So I want for the lawmaker to pass that bill that anybody that we get you causing our leader in the country, my brother, you must be in jail for either 2 or 3 years. That's the only way causing leader in the country will start.
Okay. All right. Medicine to 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507 or 0778 460 793 0778 460 793. That's the number to call and you are live, or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Let me take this caller. Good evening.
Where are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. Your name and where you calling from? Let's hear from you. Mm-hmm. No, we're not allowed that. If anybody, no. We're not going to allow that. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793 Better still 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the numbers to call and you are live order the nighttime heat tonight. 0886 050507. Better still 0778 460 793. Let's take this caller.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you here. You're live.
Oh, okay. I'm Eddie Thompson.
Okay.
Shabba, thank you very much for the program. You know, I listened to one caller just now and said that focusing the president. Look, the president said me to tell the Minister of Information and the Deputy Minister Daniel Sano to start using the Ministry of Information platform to insult other leaders. One thing that you know, the president, the former president, served this country. He's like Brembo elected him. So if he, the color like Lieutenant, and he wants to be insulting the president, let them take the information ministry. They shouldn't be using taxpayer money to pay them. They'll be using that platform to insult other political leaders in the country. We're not going to do it. For every time they insult the opposition, the president will receive insult. Thank you very much.
No, the president shouldn't. The person who insulted you, that the person should insult, not the president. Go right ahead. Good evening.
Good evening, Sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
I'm still, I come doing for Federal Foundation.
Okay.
Let me say in the dream of those who believe that insult can make them president in this country. The issue of Yeke Konoba that insulted George Weah, and they want to say it is a result of it that resulted to President Boga being elected. That is a dream. That is a myth, and I think it can never resonate in the mind of the traditional candidate in Liberia. Look, the same traditional candidate in Liberia, they don't believe in insult. If they start there, Yeke Konoba insulted George Weah, and George Weah became victim of his leadership. And then he come to say, Yeke will insult Joseph Boakai, and then we see George Weah coming back. Let them say that Yeke be passing around insulting, then they take it to be the own of victory, that they will come and lead Liberia in the way they were leading in this country. Joseph Boakai came to permanence and he was elected based on his track record. His disciplinary actions, his orientation, his upbringing informed the traditional country to support him. Who told you we get time on those people? That passing around maybe Desi Buga. Who do you care about them? Look, I can tell you, Nima Bong, Lofa, Magibi, and Bapolu, Gregemo Kante, and Grand Basso. No, they were never Robian, no people. We are disciplinary people. We go in the society push, we make a decision, we discipline our people, and we know about the people like Georgia who is baptizing. They are insulted them before they come into baptize. How can they baptize or settle?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll take I'm sure only 3 or 4 calls. We'll wrap it up. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Better still 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the number to call. And you are live on the nighttime heat. Good evening.
Yeah, I'll call it. I'll call you. For George in power when you get on doing it. What is that stopping?
They put missing our whole this.
Okay. All right. So that we're not talking about all that thing now. We talk about what do you see has changed? What has changed since the 2 years of President Joseph Yuma Boakai? Is it water supply? Is it electricity? Is it rice? Is it the security has changed? Is it roads? Is it our international relations? What is it that has changed? 2 years now. Let's hear from you. Hello? Okay, it seems the caller is off. 0778 460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0886-050507. 0886-050507. That's the numbers to call and you are live. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. John.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
I can remember in the past government, our parents, that some always see us at yellow bar one for today, we not to be. We need to take gallon, we stay on long. Yes, 1 gallon of gas. Today, we're not happy. Today, if foreign investors, that's such a thing. We were not there before. Very true. Where the former president coming from? Today, people on that side, everything. Not happening before. Today, you can see people for great millions, they pay get into what is the bit 25,000, 30,000 before. Today, you can come instead of speaking to you for the job. I'm cleaning the street, getting mad, all your nobody who is single girl. People clean. Now you can hear the clean that before. So, a lot of things I see getting for people. Going to Dollar run a locator area there. Now, people are not looking at that. By the time they walk out into that, people come and see the car park.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will take the 3 more calls. 0778-460-0793. Again, 0778-460-793. We're trying to ask what has changed. 2 years now. What have you seen changed? Good evening.
For the last 2 years, we are not heard. For the last years, we have been able to look. MTA, Maryland County, very pricing for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, I can tell you our people are going into the market buying affordable rice with a very low cost in Maryland and Grand Eden and Sino at a very low cost. They have, no, somebody you will not believe this. If you call from Grand Eden, if you have your network reaching Grand Eden, if they call now, they're buying pepper right there for $2,800 in Grand Eden, in Maryland, in BWG for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, we can tell you that gasoline is very stable in the country. Electricity, our turbine is not damaged. We can see international partner putting in, giving letter of credence to our president.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think you listen a lot. Let's try to take additional, just 2 more calls.
Yeah. I hope Mr. Sandy is listening.
We'll do part 2 tomorrow. I mean, on Wednesday, hopefully. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. One of the panelists on the panel tonight. This is William Covey and I joined this conversation. Well, let's appreciate all of it. Like the questions that has been asked to the what has changed under the administration for different from the previous. So there are a lot of things have changed, right? Under this administration. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so there are one, see the rapid fight against drugs that the DEA under the previous administration. Today, the data break, you check on the DEA website, confiscation of drugs. There will be people who bad a prosecute for jobs. Now, that has changed. But for $100 million just coming into this country, who work his car through violent prosecution or action taken against them. When it comes to stable election, they will enjoy stable election than the previous. We look at our stable food rice price, and even local commodities, the gas price, the gasoline, the rice, the US, things have come down. From now it is at 2,060. Now it's coming from $875 to $1,100. The US will elect from to now 180 to 183. And what's the salary of 7-7? When 7-7 used to take 2-3 months to get 1 month. Today, every month the 25th to the 7-7 receive their salary. Don't think when I hear people change, why don't they have changed?
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll do part 2 on Wednesday. Let me take the last caller quickly. We'll do part 2 on Wednesday. 0778-460793. Better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Better still 0778-460793. We're going to take one more call quickly. 0778-460793. That's the last caller here. We'll do a part 2 on Wednesday, and this time part 2 will have legs to this question. Let's hear from you quickly. Let's hear from you. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Tracy. I'm calling from Bogota.
Okay, quickly, go ahead. Okay. All right, thank you. You say overhead bridge coming west. Now we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. But this time around, we're also asking what of those changes are reflecting on the lives of our people. That's the question I'll be asking. Gentlemen, you'll take away quickly so can go.
But no, it is the people who are speaking. That's not us who's speaking for the people. And you know, I was in flight before.
Are you all printed?
I was in flight with the issue of the police before the callers started coming in. Now, okay. I think in some instances the police have used excessive force because in some instances when the police go to arrest, if the person is not resisting, the best that you can do, read their Miranda rights to them, and then you can ask them, look, I'm going to take you to the police station so you can go and make statement. But in the in the vein where you go, you grab the person, put handcuff on their hand. I saw one, I think, in the red light area the other day. There was a lady who was grabbed. She was handcuffed, sitting on the bike. Those things are. She's not fighting. She's not agitating. So all you needed to do, read a Miranda rights to her, and then you take her to the police station to go and make a statement. If she has a lawyer, she can call the lawyer to accompany her so that her rights being protected. Be as it may, the rule of law is a little bit challenged, whether we elect it or not, but there's a lot of improvement that needs to be made in that aspect or so. Now, to my closing, I think the population has already started to give their own feedback. We give our feedback on different aspects of what has changed, but I think a segment of our population, different people who call from different locations tonight, they've given their feedback. And most of the feedback that was given, it shows that there are positive steps that have been taken by the government, but more needs to be done.
Okay. George?
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm happy that the callers vindicated us before Mr. Sandy.
You're plenty of
Mr. Sandy came in journalism. They got soft news, they got hard news. Your topic today is soft news. So we had to respond to your topic. So maybe Mr. Sandy just wanted to keep bombarding. This we couldn't be bombastic today because it's a soft news, and that tend to project the actual image of what's happening. We try our best to do it. The public did it better than us because they are the benefactors. They're the one that actually this that are benefiting from these services.
Yeah.
They came to look at us and gave their views. I think that alone should tell Mr. Sani that we've been vindicated by what we said. Having said that, we ask the police, they are the frontline security of the state, the first line of defense. You face the people every day. When you wear that uniform, that's why some of us, when we see police officer, even I'm driving my car, they say, stop. I slow down straight.
Yeah.
And, even if my document's not correct, I will stop and I will speak to them good, politely. So the same way, when you go enforce, it's a civil matter. No need to cuff the person. It's a civil matter. So now you go to the person there and resisting, just say, let's walk. I mean, one will also go to the station. You may read a marina rights to them right there, or carry them to the station and read, to them, this and that. I mean, let's be professional. I know they got a lot of good guys in the police. So what you do every day has a kind of negative or positive impact on the government when it comes to the rule of law. So with that, I want to say thank you, Mr. Sobo. I want to tell the public thank you for listening to us. Okay,
so before we go, let me just reference some of our viewers. Not all. Gloria Boyu passed away. She's been watching from the USA. Ophelia S. George been watching from home. Vinicius Junior Bad, didn't say from where. Vamuya and Sirleaf from Bartlersville, that's Broadville City. You've been watching. Ben Sa, didn't say from where. Amos War from again, I get it where you've been watching from. Maxwell Handyman from Broadville, Bartlersville Estate. Max K. Mio, didn't say from where. Anthony Wigon from Nimba County, been watching. Ernest Johnson, I'm sure from Nimba County. David Tuerto, didn't say from where. Moses Momolu from the USA. Okay, so there we start. We can call our names. Join us, that is on Wednesday, with another interesting edition. This time we'll be doing part 2 of the discussion. What has really changed in our country since President Joseph Yuma Boakai and his government took over? What has changed? And if you've seen changes, are those changes reflecting on the lives of the people? We'll be discussing that along with other topics that is on Wednesday. Until then, Sabo George is my name. Join us on Wednesday and have a pleasant night.